First tonight, we begin with a story of a South Mississippi man accused by police of a crime he did not commit. Allison Spann leads us off tonight with this special report, Falsely Accused.
That's right, Hugh. Imagine being locked up for a crime you didn't commit, despite having evidence you were over 70 miles away at the time that crime took place, nowhere near the scene. Well, that's the reality for one Gulfport man wrongly imprisoned for 8 months on charges that he did not commit. Arthur Jones Jr., or AJ, and his lawyer are now seeking justice for his wrongful imprisonment, and the two hope his story will help shed light on those falsely accused.
In July of 2015, 17-year-old Jabari Gowdy's life was ended after he was shot twice outside of a club in Hattiesburg. For another young man 70 miles away in Gulfport at the time of Gowdy's murder, a nightmare was just starting to unfold.
I was terrified the whole time, like every day, 24/7.
Arthur Jones Jr. agreed to sit down with me and recount his vivid recollections of a police encounter that nearly destroyed his life.
Majority of the time I felt like I was going to have to go to prison for this crime that I didn't commit, because they seem to discredit my evidence of my innocence.
Mere hours after Gowdy was gunned down, AJ was the unsuspecting target of a murder investigation. Court documents spell out the facts during and after that July 2015 shooting. AJ was one of two people picked out of a lineup by a witness at the scene. AJ voluntarily came to the Gulfport police station, waived his Miranda rights, and agreed to be interviewed. The 23-year-old was confident the evidence would show he was nowhere near Hattiesburg when the shooting took place.
I expected to immediately be released because I knew I had evidence, surveillance of me being in Gulfport at the time of the murder.
According to court documents, Detective Rockhold of the Hattiesburg Police Department told AJ he had video evidence of him inside Club Memories before the shooting took place, even dismissing a video Jones had on his cell phone of him inside Club Illusions in Gulfport the night of the murder.
And that's you and your cousin in there, Keith.
And that's at Club Illusions.
No, it's not.
Detective Rockhold also stated Jones' cell phone pinged in Hattiesburg on the night in question. The detective later admitted these were lies. In fact, surveillance footage from Club Illusions in Gulfport that night shows AJ at the bar multiple times just minutes before Gowdy was shot over an hour away in Hattiesburg. Additionally, cell phone records reveal AJ's phone, quote, never connected to or pinged a tower near the city of Hattiesburg the night of July 4th or the morning of July 5th of 2015. Tim Holloman, an attorney for Jones, says important information was also left out of the arrest warrant affidavit, the basis for the arrest warrant that was issued for Jones.
So if they had gone to the judge in this case, in AJ's case, and said, okay, Judge, we got an eyewitness that says AJ did it, but Judge, 3 minutes before he said AJ did it, he identified another man. Then the judge would say, I'm sorry, I'm not binding this fellow over to the grand jury. Go back and do some more investigation. AJ stays out of jail. That's what should have happened. But in that affidavit, as the court laid out in its opinion, they omitted the truth.
AJ remained behind bars for 8 months, even after another man was arrested and investigated for the same crime. AJ bonded out on March 12th of 2016, but continued making the drive to Hattiesburg every month to meet with the probation officer. This even after the other man, Andreco Gustin, was indicted for the murder of Jabari Gowdy.
I feel like I lost more than 2 years because, like I said, it's still I've been dealing with this since I was 23. I'm 29 now. So it's a lot longer than 2 years. I'm still dealing with this in search of justice, of my justice.
The actual murderer is serving a 30-year prison sentence for second-degree murder. As for Jones, it's been 6 years since he was first locked up and wrongfully accused.
You're going to jail for murder.
AJ's hope is a legal system that kept him in jail for 8 months now provides him with the retribution he's after.
The system is designed to have checks and balances. Well, when law enforcement doesn't tell the truth, the system fails. The system failed AJ because the law enforcement didn't tell the truth.
And that murder charge against AJ was not dropped until October 2017, months after Gustin was indicted by a grand jury for Gowdy's death. AJ has filed suit against Detective Rockhold and the city of Hattiesburg, claiming he was falsely accused of murder in the shooting death of 17-year-old Jabari Gowdy. Now, the city has been dismissed from that suit, but a trial date has been set for November the 15th in the case against Detective Rockhold. We reached out to Rockhold's attorney, who gave us this statement. Quote, "We are pleased that the city of Hattiesburg has been dismissed in the lawsuit. Detective Rockhold had a very difficult case with a number of witnesses who identified Mr. Jones as the perpetrator of the crime. The detective relied on the advice of the Forest County District Attorney's Office during the course of the investigation. The evidence later revealed the identity of the person who committed the crime and who was ultimately convicted. The law protects the detective with qualified immunity, and we are confident he will be vindicated at a trial." And if you'd like to read more about this case, you can go to our website at WLOX.com.